slightly complex workflow, but effectively I'm using Claude as a automatic brain which can run from my own system, right? I'm using Claude Code like OpenClaw, right? And I didn't want this to be fully I didn't want this to be a manual task that I do every now and then by initiating a command. I wanted this to automatically trigger the first time I open Claude every day, which I do almost every day. So I have set a trigger point whenever a session starts. This is going to do all these tasks for me and get my SEO auditing and SEO fixing done, right? So that's how I use it. And I also made it slightly intelligent. So I have got a persistent database where I also write a flag to say, have I run this auditing session today or not, right? So whenever a new session starts, Claude will first check for that particular flag. It checks for the flag to say, oh, did I run it today or not, right? If it didn't run, it will trigger. If it already ran, it will just stay silent, right? So pretty useful in terms of how you can use hooks, right? Hooks are a way in which you can make your Claude Code sort of automate itself and use it like OpenClaw, right?
How do you write this hook? Like, how do you create it? Is it a file in the .md file in the project folder, or
Yeah, there are a couple of files you can update, but again, don't bother, right? So in my case, I asked Claude to create this hook, right? And it did a very good job on this.
so what will you say in this example? You will say create a hook that whenever I open my session, you
Yeah.
do an SEO audit. But how does it know what's an SEO audit? Like, how will
So
you?
I created a script called SEO audit, and I said, if you look at this, so this is a script, right? So I created a script called for SEO audit. Like there's a lot of definitions, how it works, what it needs to do when the script runs, and within script there are also some definitions to say you also need to call some skills, right? I also created some skills. Skills defines that workflow to say exactly what it needs to do. Um, and then I have patched all of them in to say, hey, Claude, why don't you create a hook for me, which creates this particular workflow at the beginning of every session. So again, so look, all of this is trial and error, right? Which means I spent a lot of time in first building the script, testing out whether this works perfectly or not, whether it was able to get my metrics, whether it was able to analyze, update, what is the quality of update. So I had to go through all this grind manually to see if it works or not. And once I see conviction that Claude can do this automatically without my intervention, then then automation is just one step, right? Then I say, hey, you have run this script, you have done this for me. Now why don't you trigger this every time I open Claude Code first time in the morning, right? Yeah, auto testing, right? So these are the four things that you guys should try. One is auto testing for sure. Run a test whenever a code change is done or any file is updated or any changes are done, a new feature is launched. Automatically ask Claude to test all the changes made during that particular session or made to that particular file. Secret guard your envs. So you can ask Claude to create a hook for you to not read the env files at all, environment variables files, right? Personally, lot of people use it, but I tend to rotate my API keys quite a lot. Almost every 15 days, I sort of rotate my API keys, delete the old ones, create new ones. And it is handy for me to copy instead of manually copying. It's easier to copy paste, ask Claude to copy paste. So I did not use this secret guard, but this is one of the applications if you don't want Claude to touch any of your envs. So for some of the CodePub products, I have got this env guard set up, but for a lot of experimental projects where I don't mind Claude looking at API key because I anyways tend to change it quite a lot, I don't set it up. But this is a very good thing for you to try out. Ask Claude to set up to say, don't you have you whenever you try to read env files, just create a hook so that you'll never be able to read env files. So Claude will automatically configure a pre-tool hook for you, right? Pre-tool hook for reading of a file. Again, you need not define this. Try Claude, ask it to create. It should be able to create for you. Auto formatting is more to make your code base much better. I mean, in terms of visual appearance, I don't think a lot of us, anyways, read the code, so this might not be the best possible use case for you. The last one is notification, right? Whenever your task is complete, like if there are long running tasks you run on auto mode, you can also ask Claude to notify you once the tasks are complete. So that can also be a pretty good hook. I think you guys should try these three: auto test, secret guard, as well as notification. Okay.